Vietnam, August 1st, 2025. As of 9 a.m. on August 2nd, flash floods and landslides in Dien Bien province, due to heavy rains lasting from July 31st to August 1st, have killed 10 people, injured 7 others, and left no one missing. Property damage is estimated at VND 300 billion. Specifically, 319 houses collapsed, were swept away, damaged, or had to be urgently evacuated, concentrated in communes such as Na Son, Phin Giang, and Xe Dong. Many national highways, inter-commune and inter-village roads were eroded, causing congestion and isolating many areas. Many irrigation works, schools, and agency headquarters were also damaged and flooded. The power grid in Tia Dinh, Xe Dong, Na Son, and Muong Wan communes was lost. Telecommunications networks were interrupted in many places. Chairman of Dien Bien Provincial People's Committee Lu Tan Du said that relief goods from the Ministry of National Defense and other ministries and sectors have been transported by helicopter to the 3 communes of Tia Dinh, Xe Dong, and Na Son. In many areas, because they cannot travel by motor vehicles, rescue forces are crossing forests and streams to reach isolated and separated villages and households as soon as possible. Households that have completely lost their homes have been provided with accommodation. Flooded households have returned home to clean up. Traffic assurance work is focusing on clearing landslides and rocks to clear roads to commune and village centers to serve relief and rescue work. The province assigned military forces to coordinate with commune officials to organize inspections, survey damage, and determine essential needs of people in all villages. The electricity sector is resupplying electricity. If the plan goes according to plan, about 2/3 of the affected area can be restored by the evening of August 2nd. Viettel Dien Bien has restored signal at 5 locations, and in Tia Dinh commune, it is currently welding broken cables. The unit has equipped 6 satellite phones and plans to mobilize more from Sun La, and at the same time, add walkie-talkies to communicate in areas with no signal. Speaking at the meeting, Major General Tran Hai Chow, Deputy Director of the Department of Rescue and Relief, Ministry of National Defense, said that the lack of accurate information from the base is the biggest bottleneck, making it difficult to coordinate forces and relief goods. The urgent requirement is to approach the scene by all means. Along with that, the work of evacuating people from dangerous areas and restoring electricity and telecommunications infrastructure must also be given top priority. Major General Pham Hung Hung, Deputy Commander of Military Region 2, said that many solutions will be synchronously deployed to reach all remaining villages, with the top priority being to provide coverage and information connection to the most severely affected communes and villages. Relief work has also been stepped up. More than 500 military and militia officers and soldiers have been mobilized to transport food, drinking water, tents, and other necessities to flash flood and landslide areas. The Air Force also participated in transporting relief goods to hot spots. Secretary of Dien Bien Provincial Party Committee Tran Quoc Quang said that on August 2nd, the locality focused on implementing 3 key tasks. First, send functional forces, generators, gasoline, and communication equipment to isolated areas, especially communes and villages that cannot be contacted, to quickly grasp the damage situation, identify urgent needs, and organize the timely provision of food, drinking water, and medicine to the people. Second, organize a meeting of the Provincial Civil Defense Command on the same day, assigning each provincial leader to be in charge of each commune. From the commune level, functional forces will go directly to each village, especially isolated areas, to ensure that all households have access to relief aid. Third, conduct a general inspection and reassess the capacity of the 4 on-site forces, including spare supplies, equipment, medicine, and gasoline. For communes and wards that do not meet the requirements, the province will direct departments, branches, and the provincial military command to directly supplement them during the day. Regarding the plan to stabilize housing for people, the province is urgently surveying and arranging safe land for resettlement for 76 households whose houses were completely swept away. In addition, 189 damaged houses will be classified. If they can still be repaired, they will be supported to repair. If they are not safe, They will be relocated from the dangerous area, and temporary housing will be arranged for people in public works, schools, medical stations, etc. The province also said that it will compile detailed statistics on the damage to schools, medical stations, and people's property as soon as possible, after basic rescue work is ensured. In case it exceeds the local response capacity, the province will proactively propose to the central government, the Ministry of National Defense, Military Region 2, and related ministries and branches for support, including the plan to transport relief goods by helicopter. Concluding the meeting, the Deputy Prime Minister emphasized that the flash floods and landslides in Dien Bien were extreme, unexpected natural disasters with widespread impacts, causing great damage to people and property. To date, 10 people have died and 7 have been injured. Many people have lost their homes, and hundreds of households have been deeply flooded. People's assets, livelihoods, schools, offices, and hospitals have all been affected. Essential infrastructure such as electricity and telecommunications have also been paralyzed. The already weak transport infrastructure has been severely damaged, making access, rescue, support for people, and damage assessment difficult. The Deputy Prime Minister highly appreciated the local authorities and local forces for proactively evacuating, treating the injured, accessing the scene, and providing initial support in conditions of lack of communication and isolation. Commune officials, especially in heavily affected areas, are very conscious and proactive, the Deputy Prime Minister commented. The Deputy Prime Minister said that accessing information and reaching the scene is the biggest difficulty at present. However, with the efforts of the military, police, and local forces, initially mobilizing human resources and means, including helicopters, to clear 3 completely isolated points with no access roads. One of the key instructions of the Deputy Prime Minister is to grasp the exact situation, how many households have lost their homes, need temporary accommodation, how many people need food, and drinking water. The province must clearly determine the extent to which it can take care of itself, and propose to the central government anything that exceeds that. It cannot be general, the Deputy Prime Minister noted. For isolated areas, the Deputy Prime Minister directed that air relief must be organized, assigning the Ministry of National Defense and Military Region 2 to assess and determine the coordinates, location, and types of necessities that need to be brought in. If necessary, national reserves will be mobilized. Those who have lost their homes must be placed in offices, military barracks, medical stations, schools, and places with safe conditions. No one is left to sleep in the open. The Ministry of Health is responsible for disease prevention. The Ministry of Agriculture and Environment is responsible for clean water treatment and environmental sanitation. In the coming hours and days, Dien Bien Province needs to concentrate forces to quickly clear landslide-affected traffic routes to communes affected by flash floods and landslides to serve relief work and support people to overcome the consequences of natural disasters. At the same time, warning signs must be posted, security forces must be deployed, and civilian vehicles must not travel through landslide-affected or potentially landslide-prone roads that are unsafe. Vietnam Electricity Group directed the Northern Corporation and Dien Bien Power Company to urgently restore the power grid in areas affected by floods, review all damaged transformer stations, immediately mobilize reserve equipment for replacement, and strengthen inspection of the low-voltage line system. The Deputy Prime Minister stated that with the characteristics of mountainous and isolated terrain, ensuring uninterrupted communication is even more important, but in reality, the communication infrastructure has not been invested in to adapt. The loss of communication makes the command and operation work passive. Network operators such as Viettel and VNPT must equip broadcasting stations with generators, satellite communication equipment, and mobile broadcasting stations to ensure connectivity in all natural disaster situations. Emphasizing that the Central Working Group in Dien Bien is not to do things for them, but to grasp the situation, inspect, coordinate with the locality, learn from experience, and provide support, the Deputy Prime Minister suggested that the province and ministries and branches proactively propose and make full statistics. Whatever the locality can do, it must be proactive. Whatever is beyond its authority and capacity, it must be proposed to the government for direction and resource allocation. Along with the early stabilization of people's lives and production, Dien Bien needs to pay attention to quickly repairing schools, fully preparing books and educational equipment for the new school year. In the long term, the Deputy Prime Minister suggested that Dien Bien calculate and select safe resettlement areas, prevent natural disasters along with appropriate livelihood conversion for the people, redesign the infrastructure system, transportation, electricity, medical stations, in a solid direction, adapting to natural disasters. Pointing out the differences in disaster response in mountainous areas compared to plains, the Deputy Prime Minister said that the role of village chiefs, commune police, and militia in mountainous communes with fragmented terrain and easy isolation is very important. Supplies and equipment for disaster response also have different requirements. Dien Bien also needs to improve its organizational structure, task assignment mechanism, and mobilize human resources and equipment on-site when natural disasters and extreme weather occur. Have a clear plan when an incident occurs, who will do what, which force will be responsible. You cannot look ahead and look behind before handling it. Don't wait until it's necessary to find a generator. Worry about gasoline. That's passive. According to the National Center for Hydrometeorological Forecasting, on the night of August 2nd, Dien Bien, Lai Chau and Sun La areas will have localized showers and thunderstorms, with heavy rain in some places. This will be very dangerous because some areas of Dien Bien and Sun La have experienced floods, flash floods, landslides, inundation, causing very serious consequences for people and property on July 31st and August 1st. Along with that, the soil moisture model shows that some areas in the above provinces are nearly saturated or have reached a saturated state. Currently, functional forces have been and are supporting people in Dien Bien, Sun La, to overcome the consequences of natural disasters. From the reality and with the situation of continued rain in the above provinces, the authorities and people need to closely monitor weather developments, proactively respond according to the for on-site motto, on-site command, on-site forces, on-site means and materials, on-site logistics. Specifically, the National Center for Hydrometeorological Forecasting said that on the night of August 2nd, Dien Bien, Lai Chau and Sun La will have scattered showers and thunderstorms, with some places experiencing heavy rain with rainfall of 10 to 30 millimeters, and some places experiencing over 60 millimeters. Areas that are on guard during thunderstorms are likely to experience tornadoes, lightning, hail, and strong gusts of wind. Localized heavy rain is likely to cause flash floods on small rivers and streams, landslides on steep slopes, and flooding in low-lying areas. Warning level 1 for natural disaster risks due to tornadoes, lightning, and hail. Deputy Head of Weather Forecasting Department Nguyen Huton noted. Heavy rain is likely to cause flooding in low-lying areas, urban and industrial areas, flash floods on small rivers and streams, landslides on steep slopes. Real-time warning information on areas at risk of flash floods and landslides is provided online on the website of the Department of Hydrometeorology at https://luktsitialo.nchmf.gov.vn and in separate bulletins warning of flash floods and landslides. Flash floods and landslides can have very negative impacts on the environment, threaten people's lives, cause local traffic congestion, affect the movement of vehicles, destroy civil and economic works, causing damage to production activities, socioeconomic activities. The Hydrometeorological Agency reminds people to regularly monitor forecast and warning information on the website of the National Center for Hydrometeorological Forecasting at nchmf.gov.vn and provincial, municipal, and regional hydrometeorological stations. At the same time, regularly update the latest hydrometeorological forecast information on the official mass media of the central and local levels to proactively respond, and at the same time recommend that the authorities in the affected localities pay attention to reviewing the flow bottlenecks and vulnerable locations in the area to take preventive measures. According to the guidance of the Department of Dike Management and Natural Disaster Prevention and Control, Ministry of Agriculture and Environment, in the face of the above situation, the affected areas closely monitor the developments of heavy rain, floods, flash floods, landslides, and promptly and fully inform the authorities and people at all levels to proactively prevent, respond, and minimize damage. Localities deploy shock forces to inspect and review residential areas along rivers, streams, and low-lying areas to proactively organize the relocation and evacuation of people in areas at high risk of deep flooding, flash floods, and landslides. Organize forces to be ready to control and guide traffic, put up warning signs, especially at culverts, spillways, deep flooded areas, and fast-flowing water. Proactively arrange forces, materials, and means to overcome incidents, ensuring smooth traffic on main traffic routes when heavy rain occurs.